States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Here.
Parker absent. Schneider. Stoops.
Here.
Wilson.
Yeah, here.
Lucasar. Lucas W.
I'll make a motion to excuse the absence.
Who's supported?
Bill.
Parker absent. Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Lucasar. Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Non-agenda items for the sideline. I have three here, but Chris is, where's Chris?
Right here.
Oh, yeah, Chris is first. You have 5 minutes, sir, so you can Chris, what you want to say?
Okay, as probably most of you are aware, I purchased the building next to me, the one, used to be the old Grace building, the old mill building. That's the same building that was in question when we had that little fire in the parking lot, and there was a nice little article in the paper that talked about the fact that if, insurance doesn't cover it, you guys don't keep on coming after it. Well, I've continued to get notices to get payment. I got an application currently for the city of Memphis for the demolition. I've been working on and talking with your building inspector. I'm gonna be demolishing the front section of the building, the old mill, and then the back section of that building. Currently, due to the condition of that building, I cannot get insurance on the building. I have liability only for personnel on the property. So I have not been able to do it. I've actually been talking with Bart a little bit about moving my water, bringing it around the other side. I've talked with the building inspector, I've talked with Sunco to move the gas, we've removed a lot of the electrical. During this process, I'm going to need the support of the city to shut down Mill Street for a couple of days here and there throughout the demolition process. There's gonna be equipment out there working, pulling down stuff, and I wouldn't wanna see people getting hurt. I mean, obviously they can be rerouted around Mill Street for a period of time. Quite frankly, owning this building and seeing it there, I bought my original building in 2004. The fact that, there's been all these issues regarding blight within the city, the fact that that building had never been ticketed astounds me. If you were to take a look at that building, like I said, it's condemned in the front portion of it, and it's nasty. You live across the street from it, Larry, you should be able to see it. It's atrocious. Secondarily, I know that you guys were working when Dan was here regarding working with the state to get funding to purchase the riverfront of that property. I'd like for you guys to continue that process because currently I'm going to block off and fence off the fence. I posted no trespassing signs. If people were to go on that property, fall down and get hurt, I'm liable for it. And I would prefer that the city own the property. I keep on telling people to move off of the property. And the problem I have is the fact that they say that the fishing is the best there at that corner. I don't care. I don't care how good the fishing is. I posted no trespassing. I'm expecting the police department to see that if the people are there, that they are to be asked to leave because it's been posted. I can't afford for people to come into my property, get hurt, and whatnot. So I guess what I'm looking for, first off, is let you know that I am going to be demoing it. I'm going to be demoing just the front section and the back section. I've got plans on how it's going to look. It's going to look beautiful when it's done. If anybody had seen my building before I bought it, it looked like crap. I've made a huge change on improving that property, and I will make a huge change on improving this one. So I guess I'm just looking for the support of the city to be able to do the things I need to right the wrongs that should have been taken care of 10 years ago on this property.
Okay, I think you had 3 issues.
Yeah.
As far as the demolition, I think, it's going to interfere with traffic. I mean, I'm sure.
It's a safety issue, and
Safety
being
issue, so,
the
yeah.
road it is, we could detour people
Yeah,
around.
so I don't think that should be a problem.
Okay.
No, just a matter of coordinating maybe with the police department or the DPW
Yeah.
or someone.
And the fire department too, if they have
Yeah.
any emergency, they know
Yeah.
not to.
So I don't think that should be.
I think while doing the work on there, I think the detour Mill Street could be limited to the days we're working on it. At night, when we're done, there should be no problem reopening that street.
Well, you accommodate accommodate the resident, or the people that use it as much as you can, you know.
Well, it wouldn't have to be completely shut off. Obviously, I have to get my people in and out of that street for my business
Yeah.
and the trucks and whatnot. But the problem is getting beyond that building while there's equipment in there. I've got an excavator over there that's gonna be ripping at this building within the next few weeks.
Yeah.
And that stuff comes down, it can be dangerous out in the streets.
That's a major street, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we certainly, when you demolition, that we wouldn't want the people to be, hurt or something like that, so I'm sure accommodating the closing it down, that could be.
It'd be
That's my biggest thing
especially on Mill
is
Street,
for
like-
safety. I don't want people getting hurt in the process.
Absolutely, okay.
So,
Okay, the second one was on insurance. Normally, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's not collectible insurance, we usually drop it.
No.
No?
that's what I was told. It was in the paper to that effect.
Yeah,
Nowhere in the state that if you do not have insurance, then you do not charge for.
I thought that's how we set it up with the agency that did that.
Well, that's what I remember.
We can't pick and choose as to if we only bill insurance companies, or we only bill homeowners, or we only bill residents, or we only bill non-residents. Anything that comes up within the city.
I distinctly remember that vote of the people, one of the council members asked that question, what if the insurance doesn't cover it? Well, we just waived it.
And that was published in the paper, so it's in writing.
That's my understanding of it. And
That's what I remember.
The city council wants to avoid it, that's up to them. The ordinance doesn't say whether or not we pick and choose who we.
If the city would have blighted the property years ago, it would have been insurable. It is not insurable, period. I have tried, and I've tried since the day I bought it. If the city would have blighted it, and it should have been blighted, then it could have been fixed, and it could have been insurable.
I remember them asking that there was concern that we're gonna put undue cost to our residents. And if that was gonna be the case.
There was
there
no
wasn't an
medicals,
agreement.
is what the.
Well, I'm certainly, I
So
was
is that-
sworn that was what was the regular, or
Should be
the
actually.
understanding, I guess, if it's not written, that was the understanding, that if it couldn't be collected insurance, that we would not collect it.
That's the way I remember
And
it.
that's the way I remember it, so,
Any,
that may be wrong, but that's the way I remember it. So,
In the past, we have had made arrangements for payments or something like that, but anything that is done illegally, we have not let go through or.
Is that why? Because it was an illegal burn? It wasn't an
Any
accidental
drunk
structure?
drivings, anything
I
done
think that's the
illegally, we have
difference.
Oh,
not.
that's the difference.
That's the
Yeah.
difference.
We were
But
talking
it was,
about
it was,
insuring a
I
house
mean, I
on
was
fire.
2 days outside the normal burn. I
But what you were
understand.
burning, it was.
And I wasn't aware of that. But at the same time, it was clearly,
Yeah,
it
that's.
was clearly safe in the area that was going on, and that was
So
obviously.
you're not aware that it's illegal to burn trash in the state of Michigan? Construction debris?
It was 2x4s.
That's construction debris,
I was
right?
not aware of that, no.
Okay.
But I mean, the fact is, it's in writing in the paper, as how it's stated, it is not insurable, and if the city council or the city would have blighted that property as it should have been, I could have had it insured. I have been fighting with insurance companies since the day I bought it. That's why I'm going through the demolition process. It's costing me a fortune to demo this property and to make the city look better in that corner.
Right. The third issue is about the trespassing.
Yes,
I'm not sure, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think you could keep people out of trout stream.
it's my property. They're coming onto my parking lot, they're walking through my property to get to that trout stream.
That's the only part that you can stop. You can stop them from crossing your property, you can stop them from parking their cars on your property, but they
Which
have,
means that in order
they have easement of about 5 feet up the riverbank.
12 feet.
Is it 12 feet?
12
Okay,
feet.
12 feet.
Okay, well, they can't get there. It's impossible.
Yeah, they can, because they can just walk down the river if they want.
No, because that whole riverfront, and I've got it in deed, I own it all the way to 19.
Doesn't matter, they can walk from 19 up that river.
Okay.
I know, because I live on,
I know that-
I own
I know that
property
they-
with problems.
Well, all I know is that they were working on a way to purchase that property and make it part of the city's riverfront. When Dan was involved, they could still do that, purchase it, and then I don't really care. The fact of the matter is who are they gonna come after? Me or the city when somebody falls and gets hurt in there? They're gonna come after me because it's my property. So I will fence it.
I don't believe they can.
Well,
for being in the river.
Where's he
It's state
talking about?
property.
The old swimming hole where they used to go swimming down
Yeah,
there?
from the bridge,
On the curb there.
We always went swimming down there, or they caught fish down there, and there was never any problems down there.
There may not be, but I own the property now. And right
Well,
now, I've
Grace has
got,
owned it too then.
Grace has had insurance on it and how they
They
kept
have
insurance.
liability insurance too. You can't
Have
have
they?
liability insurance.
Where do you go to the night, you said you owned the, all the way to 19?
That little finger road going all the way to 19 is on my deed. I can show you photos of it and everything that shows that I own that. Okay, that entire
I've never
strip,
seen a finger road, to be truthful with you.
not a finger road, but the finger of property that goes up to that road. I've got,
Between the river and the road?
yes, I own that.
Where the guardrail is?
Yep, I own that. And it's on my deed and it's plotted out.
I knew that they owned up on 19, the corner of Mill Street and that, because I think Grace used to have a sign
Yeah.
in that area. I did not know about the green belt, if you will.
The north
between
side?
river and the curb.
The north
No, the
side.
south
Yeah,
side.
the north side.
The south side, not
That'd be
the,
the northwest corner, Grace
no,
has a sign up.
along Mill Street. I own that whole strip
Yeah.
along Mill Street.
But I remember Grace was having a sign up on the corner.
Right.
On the northwest
The
corner.
biggest issue, like I said, is I'm going through all kinds of havoc right now to get this building tore down because I can't insure it.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that if this thing would have been blighted years ago and forced to be repaired, whoever would have bought it could have insured it.
Well, we
The fact-
definitely can't do anything about that.
No, I understand that, but I mean, I'm working on trying to get this done. I think weren't you working with Dan to get, funding?
He mentioned it.
There's a way to get grant money to purchase that strip of land.
Yeah, we talked about that.
So, I mean, you can still go that route. That money's still available through a grant. Okay, I would prefer, I mean, I would love to just, have you guys buy it and not have to worry about it. My concern is every time I see people down there, I cringe knowing the fact that I can't get insurance on that property. So, and that's why I'm demoing this property.
Yeah. And do you have insurance on the other building, or is
Yes.
it because of
Eric.
no, because it's
Think
attached?
the
you
DNR
can't get
could,
insurance.
I'm sorry?
The
come in
building
on
that
this?
you're gonna save,
Possibly.
and you have insurance? on
Not
that?
yet,
Because you can't get it because it's attached?
because
to
it's
the other-
attached to the other building.
Oh, I see.
Correct.
Okay.
So how much of the property are you talking? It's what, like 8 acres back there? That property?
No, not quite. I think it's only about 4 or 5 acres back there.
So what are you proposing as far
I'm
as?
proposing that the strip, the strip along the river, that the city purchased that strip. That way, when people come on, they're on city property.
City property?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that was being looked at originally. I know you guys were originally working on trying to get that anyway. When you're dealing with the salt bin issues.
I know Dan was, and I don't know, Eric, were you involved in any of that?
It was, I mean, Dan talked about it. I mean, we've been trying to get money for
It was on
the,
their deed, but it's state property.
we've been trying to get money for the bank stabilization on the other side and to try to do something with the, the part across the street in the back of the park. I know it's definitely been talked about. I mean, the thing is I have no idea how much property it would be, how long it is, how wide it is, or anything like that.
So there was an article in the paper just recently about the Bell River, and it was specifically talked about federal grants available for cities to purchase that. It was right in the paper. I still have the article.
There's a lot of things in the paper.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's something that can still be looked at, I suppose.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, it would just make sense, 'cause it just it gives the people more of an area. I asked them, I says, go fishing down by the park. And they say, well, there's no fish down there, they're all down here. Well, I don't care.
So you're proposing selling the 4 or 5 acres along with the strip?
I'm proposing selling the property that adjoins it. I still have that parking area and there's a pond back there,
Well, yeah, I know that.
but that pond, I'm not sure how I can clean that up.
Right,
That's just stagnant water that's sitting there forever.
right.
I'd like to figure out a way to clean it up if possible.
Or fill it in or something.
Yeah,
can't fill it in.
Yeah?
no,
Not unless you
not,
put it somewhere else. You have to replace it with,
yeah, all your,
Well,
any wetlands
Wetland.
must be replaced within a certain community, if you take them apart, or it has to be talked to with the DNR.
Well, I don't even think that's a natural wetland. That hole was created.
okay.
Probably.
Well, Chris, I guess we can look at that, no promises, but if we were looking at it before, I guess we could, look at it you know, and see what we could do on that. As far as the road goes, that's, you know, we'll, you know, do what you have to do, but make the safety of the people.
Who should I be contacting
Well,
when that?
I don't,
Then streets, I would,
I think Bart,
then
because.
from there I can
Yeah,
relay it
yeah,
down
then
the line.
he needs
Okay.
help with the fire department or the police department.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be limited days.
Yeah.
Most of it, I'm gonna try to avoid affecting the road when I'm doing it. But when I get my excavator on that side of that side, I'm gonna have to, stuff's gonna be coming down that way, and, you know, I got, stuff that we'll be using to clean it up with, and I've got stuff coming in soon to
Yeah,
be able to haul it away.
yeah.
So Bart, how much lead time do you need to know when this is gonna happen?
It'd be nice to know it at least a day to 2 days.
Oh, that's not a problem, yeah.
Okay,
And like I said, I expect the area to be cleaned up and any equipment out of the way so people could continue to go down the road, you know, after normal business hours.
okay.
Should we have a sign out at Boardman to let people know that Mill Street's closed or something like that, or?
Good.
Yeah.
Post it.
I would think we'd have one still from when it was washed out.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I have detour signs. and
2004.
I definitely got signs on the road.
Oh, yeah, I remember it.
Yeah,
I bought 13 days after I bought the buildings when it all flooded.
yeah. Yeah, my footbridge got bent a little that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, all right, then we'll see how we can work that out, and as far as the insurance go, I guess I'll have to talk to Justin, because I misunderstood, I guess that, I was certainly under the impression that it was paid by insurance. If it wasn't gonna be paid by insurance, then we'd drop it, but, if it's so-called illegal burn, I guess I wasn't aware of that. So I was aware of that, but I wasn't aware that that might be an exception.
What I remember, Larry, was if there was a fire to a house.
Yes, yeah, that's what I remember. Prior to the house, that we wouldn't pursue the homeowner if he didn't have the, you know, the insurance. But most insurance policy have that rate in the
Like I
insurance.
said,
company.
it wouldn't be an issue if I had the ability to insure that building. But the fact that it had been left for so long, it's impossible to insure.
Yeah.
You know, I'm already incurring thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to clean this up, to make it insurable.
And demolish it.
So
Yeah.
you can't insure the building, or you can't insure the property?
I can't insure anything,
Yeah,
Okay.
because of the
right?
condition of
They
the
will
front
not cover it because the property itself, you would think that should be insurable. But the issue is they won't insure anything on it, as long as that front section is attached to the good section.
Okay.
door. Yeah,
So, I mean, if you were to come by and you can ask Bart, he was there today, I had made huge inroads on preparing this for demolition.
I was by there today too, actually.
I mean, I'm within a few days of being able to start crunching into that building.
Oh, okay,
I have a question.
oh, yes,
If you tear the building down, will you be able to get liability insurance on the property then?
Yes,
Well, why would you want to fence it off then?
why would I want to fence it off? Because I don't need the hassle of somebody coming in and suing me for something if they fall going down there fishing.
well,
Do you
I
want,
never heard
do you want
anybody
some,
suing anybody.
can I come on your front yard and do stuff?
Sure.
I can't,
I have liability.
but I can come on there and do what I want, whenever I want.
Under the trespass law, if you've had legally posted with the sign.
It's legally
sign,
posted.
And if they're
We've never
trespassing,
had any
then.
trouble before though.
It doesn't make a
If it was
difference.
Grace's would have did
I
it.
own the property. Okay, you can be upset with it if you like, but I own the property.
okay, I think we discussed it enough,
You're
okay?
almost on my life.
That
Okay,
horse
well,
is on its way to the glue factory.
thanks, Chris. I have two more, then Doris Lynch, wanted to say a few words.
Yeah, I'm just here about the fire department, the fire chief. I read in the paper that you want to hire him. And I'm against that, because we've always had a volunteer fire department. And I think the reason you aren't going to get any more volunteers, if you give him a allotted amount every year, you're not going to get volunteer firemen in here. Up to a few years ago, we had businessmen that would close down when the fire whistle blew or they heard it. And say he had one run, say one run a week I'm saying, just one, I know there's more, a lot more today than there were, you know, a few years back. But why have somebody sit there all day long doing nothing?
There's a lot more than just the calls.
No, I know there's paperwork
We
and
cover
stuff.
89 square
Yeah.
miles. We don't cover just the city limits.
I know that.
And yeah, years past, business people in town used to close down their stores and come to the station. I would love to have that again. Unfortunately, we don't have that. We don't have the membership that we had. I've only been on the department for 13 years. 13 years ago, we had come to the city and ask if we could bump our roster up to 30. Because we had so many people that wanted to be on the department. Nowadays, with the regulations and things like that, and the training requirements, we're at 16 right now, is our numbers. We're half of
Well,
what
I
we
know
had
there is
before.
paperwork,
So
but-
the work's still there, but the membership isn't there.
Okay, there's towns around us or cities that don't, they have all volunteer firemen. They do not have chief,
Sorry.
Okay, Sue, you
paid,
have,
yeah.
you have something to say too?
I do. I would like to know how, if we can only, my understanding is maybe for a year, we can
6
cover
months.
this?
6 months.
6 months?
Okay.
What are we gonna do after that?
Okay.
Come
That's what
back
we're
on
trying
the
to-
taxpayers, we don't need it. But I realized too that years ago, I think it was like 60 hours for training, and now how many hours is it now?
To be completely trained, you've got about a year's worth of training, 6 months for fire and 6 months for medical, roughly.
And that's a lot. I heard there's a lot of fighting anyway in the fire department. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, thank you for your input, okay? All right, we'll continue. Okay, all right. Comments from the city administration, Donna? Okay. Mark? Nothing? Dave?
Senior meeting, November 11th. We have a Thanksgiving dinner. I've worked out with Jeff White to pick up the seniors from Bell River Apartments and the Henderson building. And I'm working on getting him the information on who, because I've been going over there myself with my car and picking up 5, 6 ladies at a time and taking them home. So I worked it out with Jeff and he said, yeah, he could do that for me. And
November 11th?
November 11th, and then he'll be coming out every second Wednesday of the month to
Yeah.
get the seniors over there for me.
That's my birthday,
You
can I
got,
come?
you got a
Sure.
veteran, you got a Veterans Day theme that night?
Veterans Day, yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
sure will.
Anything else, Dave?
Yeah, I'm working on stuff for the winter months, something for the cold days for us to do. And the only other thing I have is good luck to everybody that's running, and it was a pleasure working with all you guys over the years. I had a blast, so
Well,
whoever's new,
you've been doing a good job too, so,
thank you.
No doubt about that.
yeah.
And that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Dave. A motion to adopt or amend the agenda. I don't believe there's any amendments, so I can to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Or,
Schneider?
Yes.
Stoops?
yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Lukasar?
Yes.
Lucas W?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Parker absent.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of October 20th and executive meeting minutes of October 20th?
I make a motion, we accept those minutes for those 2 meetings as presented. Support.
Stoops?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Lukasar?
Yes.
Lucas W?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Parker absent. Schneider?
Yes.
Okay, the October disbursements report of $156,325.62 and the electronic wire transfers of $16,358.64. Have a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to accept the October disbursements and electronic wire transfers as mentioned by the mayor.
Support.
Wilson?
Yes.
Lukasar?
Yes.
Lucas W?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Parker absent. Schneider?
Yes.
Stoops?
Yes.
Okay, no communications. Unfinished business, fire department, full-time officer, Eric.
Well, I spoke to Justin about this earlier, and I actually called Larry earlier too, that it's just, we can't make a decision on something like this in the last council meeting of this session, and I think it'd be foolish to try to jam this through, and we're gonna have to definitely come up with a solution here in the very near future. I'm not sure what it's gonna be, but, I do wanna make it perfectly clear that this position will have nothing to do with people sitting around waiting for the fire whistles to go off. There's plenty to do over there. There's maintenance, there's training that needs to be scheduled, there's a ton of emails going in and out every day. There's work to be done on all the pumps, all the equipment, the Hearst equipment, the Jaws of Life. Every piece of equipment over there has to be gone through constantly. So I think people have the wrong idea when I hear the words, somebody sitting around over there waiting for the whistle to go off. I think yesterday we had five calls in one afternoon. So it's like Justin mentioned, it's almost 90 square miles that we cover now, and there's a lot more involved in it.
Volunteer firemen.
We need to definitely come up with a solution, and for now, I guess I just make a motion that we table it until further notice.
And I'd like to also add that even though we do have 16 men on the roster, we do not have 16 volunteer firemen that will answer we have so many that aren't even eligible. We have them where they don't come. I would say you probably have 6 that you can count on to be here. And if they miss a medical call, that could jeopardize the medical runs totally. There's a lot behind the scenes that I've been aware of finding out too. I did hear a slight rumor that there was maybe there was a problem with the chief and the fireman. And unless a fireman comes, we have not had a negative complaint. I've never had a negative complaint. I think Justin's been doing a good job. And I know Emmett, I've heard they have 8 firemen there. So I want to see our department survive, and I hope that anybody has a better idea.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Can I have a second?
Support.
Lukasar,
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker absent, Schneider,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes. No new business and other new business. I gave you a couple memos there. I guess I just briefly just address them. The ADA hopefully will be going out again for bid shortly, and it will be basically just on the this building itself. And as you're aware, they only had one bid, which wasn't satisfactory, and because they want 3 bids, and it was twice. So we're going out to bid shortly. And what else did I have? And Bart and I met with the St. Clair County Metropolitan Planning Commission, and this was a subcommittee and it's going to be recommended to the full committee, I believe, on November 18th. And with the possibility, I think it will go through, that you'll probably get some grant money restored for Memphis. So that's great news if it goes through. So we'll see what happens. That's all I have.
I don't have anything, have my Halloween, I was told there are a ton of very polite kids. I'll tell you, that's it.
I have nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Frank?
Nothing.
Bill?
Nothing.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go in executive session for the DPW union negotiations.
So moved.
Okay, we'll allow about 5 minutes here or so and for that. And then hopefully this won't last long, so. Just a couple announcements that I missed before that I'd like to make. And this is from the Memphis Student Council. And dear City of Memphis, thank you for your overall support during the busy week of homecoming. We appreciate it. And the other thing I'd like to announce, and I was supposed to do this earlier, but I missed it. And it says, please ask for cookie donations for the tree lighting on December the 4th. And bring it into the city office on that day between 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. So those are a couple of things I was supposed to announce. And now I can have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, we're done.
Now we ready?